Ice highways are really useful to get from A to B, but especially if you play on a larger SMP server where there's a lot of intersections, this can get kind of difficult. So the ideal scenario, we can just go straight with no problem, is not all the time. If you're using a mod to align your boat, that's not a problem, but if you don't, then this can get rather complicated. There are two types of doing intersections in Minecraft. One is an open intersection, which is, well, just a hole in the side of the ice highway. And the other one is a closed intersection, where there's some contraption that basically only opens the contraption when someone wants to get in. Let's first talk about open intersections. The problem here is that you can't really control whether you go into an intersection or you don't. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. The slower you are, the more likely you are to get in. The faster you are, the less likely you to get in. But at the end of the day, you can't really control whether you go into the intersection or not. And the problem with that is obviously that if there are a lot of exits, you are quite likely to get stuck at some point while you're driving. So you can't build up speed and can't really use the large speed advantage the ice highway has. The issue with closed intersection, however, is that it's not that easy to get into them because they only really work if you're going at a really low pace. So you can see here I'm trying to get in with a faster pace, with a slower pace it did work. However, you need to find a way to slow down to that speed if you want to do it fast and efficiently. One way to do it is to use pistons with a trapdoor that will go onto the ice highway and stop you. The way these pistons are set up is that when you go on the right side of the ice highway, independently whether you're moving inwards or outwards, they will stop you. While if you're on the left side, they will not stop you. If you're on the right side and you're going above about 30 meters a second, they will also not stop you. So even if you don't know exactly how they work, you can still use them just fine. Another option is to use slowdown pads, as you can see here. Those are just ladders on one side of the highway. They're also indicated by those red warning lights. And that means that if you go on the all right side of the highway, so you're like really close to the right side, they will slow you down really quickly. On the other hand, if you don't go that far right, you're going in the middle or left, then you will not get slowed down. Those, however, only work like in one direction. So depending on whether you're going outwards or inwards, you will have the slow pad either on the left or on the right. Those have the advantage of being really simple to build and also really easy to use. The advantage of the piston-based ones is that they instantly slow you down if you're like not moving at full speed, as I said. But the disadvantage of those that they sometimes can push you to the side, and they can also be a bit wonky when you're passing through them because sometimes they will still stop despite you going at a faster speed. That only happens like in 1% of the cases though, so it's not really a big issue, but it still makes it a bit more wonky, and they're also obviously a bit more complicated. So the simple ones here with the brake pads definitely help with the issue while being easy to understand, while the piston-based ones are slightly faster, but also a bit more skill-based.